Okay. So we're starting a couple minutes early. So welcome, welcome. It's an art day. Yet again, we're back working on our needle felting along with Bob Ross series. We're following episode 8 of The Joy of Painting season 3. For those that want to see the tutorial in full, you can follow that link there, and that will take you to the Bob Ross YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch the tutorial in its entirety over there. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if Stream Elements is gonna do what it's supposed to today, or if it's just gonna be like, nah. If it's just not. Because some days it decides to, you know, do the thing. And other days it's just like, nope, can't be bothered. And I don't know what today is going to bring. Is it gonna do the thing? Alright, looks like it's not gonna do the thing. Come. So I'm gonna have to do the thing. Okay. Well, we did it ourselves now. Thanks for nothing, Stream Elements. Alright. So, when we last left off yesterday, we were working on our ground area in here. So I need to find where I put that color, because I kind of move stuff around a bit. There it is. Alright, so I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Let's just go ahead and we're going to pin that. So that way if anybody coming in late wants the link, there it is. I've been pinning that lately because it's not a busy chat room right now. And the timer doesn't always kick over with how I have it set, so we'll just tuck that up there for the time being. And I just realized it's kind of hard to stab the things if we don't have the stabber ready. So let's pop that guy into place. Alright. So yesterday we were working over here trying to give our lighthouse keeper's abode some ground to sit on, basically. And then this way we can make sense of the sketch a bit more. I was really unsure about that shading that we put on the edge of the lighthouse, but now that I've had some time to look at it, I think it did help. I think it helped make that pop a bit. Because this section seems a bit more alive as we are working our way over. Kind of feels like we're transitioning from black and white into color, into Technicolor. All right. So getting this all tapped in. So there's some storms in our area, but I don't think we're actually going to get a piece of it right now. It kind of went around us. So I guess that's good news for the square dancers. They said there was over 61 exhibition teams and over 20 competition teams registered this year. I was like, really? Are some of those competition teams doubling up as exhibition teams? Because I know there was a lot of square dancing team floats, but I didn't think there was quite that many. And that's going on today. That was yesterday and today. I'm not sure what time that starts today. But I know sometimes they're still there like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, so I don't know. I don't know about that. I need just a little bit here. Because we've got a little bit of a thin patch trying to reveal itself down in here. And we didn't overlap that too well, so it's alright, we'll get it overlapped now. It's not a huge problem. Another little bit here. And we'll get that there. So you might hear the wind chimes. I don't know if they're coming through or not. They might be just quiet enough where they're not. But the mic's facing the direction that they're in now, so. And traffic noise might get picked up a little bit more just because of how I'm facing now. So sorry about that, but I really needed to change up our, or at least my area a little bit, my work nook, and husband didn't want to move the bed off. Well, he doesn't want it on the wall that my desk is on, and that's fine. I can understand that. But then it would be right next to the door too, so that wouldn't That probably wouldn't work out too well anyhow, so. Plus, we've got the grounded, one of the definitely grounded outlets in this room over here, so. And we had a purposely added grounded outlet too. We didn't actually ask for that, but when we had some electrical work done a while ago, the electric company was, or the guys that we had doing it, they're like, we could add this in over here. I think when we were having the estimate done or something. And we're like, well, that would make sense. It wasn't like they were hard trying to sell it. It just made sense to make sure that we had a grounded outlet that his PC was in. So we're like, okay. Because it wasn't that much more of an add-on for what we had them doing, so we had them separating out some circuits on our circuit breaker because the one in the kitchen kept tripping, and they're like, oh, well, you've got too much on this circuit. We can separate this out into its own thing and do this. And we're like, okay, just make it stop tripping the whole house, please. Or at least half the house. Because that was becoming rather obnoxious. And I think they added some extra grounding to our circuit breaker in case the house got hit by lightning or something. I think they said what was there wasn't... It was okay, but it wasn't great. And we're like, alright, whatever. They were nice guys. Very professional. Unlike some of the other quotes we got. These guys had a predetermined price book that they were pulling their quotes from. I'm like, cool. One of the other people that was more local, they were like, yeah, well, you know, the whole chin rubbing thing, and I could probably do it for this. Like, no probablys, because then you're gonna change your price once you start. I want this in hard ass writing, and I want to know where you're pulling these prices from. I want universal pricing. Well, as universal as it can get. Like, I know sometimes some things get a little more complicated and more parts or more labor might be required to do the thing. I get that. But at least we have an idea of where you're pulling these prices from and not just out of your ass. And that anybody that gets a quote from you in the next month or whatever, providing you don't update your pricing, is gonna get a similar quote. So I'd rather go with these guys. Oh, that cat? I got jolted awake like a half an hour before my alarm was supposed to go off. And I was dead asleep, man. And the alarm totally would have woken me up today to a weird, almost musical noise. And I was like, what is that? and had to sit up, turn my fans off, and I'm like, what is that noise? Because it was almost there, but not exactly. We have an air pump filter on the beta tank, and the cord on that one I don't think is as long as some of the others, so it's sitting behind my PC tower with how my desk is configured at the moment. And one of the cats, I guess, decided they wanted to get in the window next to where my tower is, and I guess his ass or feet bumped the air bladder pump thingy into the side of my tower. My PC was off, but when I was standing there trying to figure out where the noise was coming from, I'm like, why does it sound like my PC is running, and why does it sound like it's dying? And I panicked and ran over. They had shoved the little air pump thingy up against the side of the tower, so it was rattling. And oh god, that was terrifying. I'm like, what is happening? I don't understand why you are doing this. And then when I was in the bathroom, I heard him parkouring somewhere in the room outside of the bathroom. I heard feet scrabbling as though we tried to make a jump and failed miserably. And couldn't get a grip on anything, and I'm just hearing all these cat claws, like, trying to gain purchase on a plastic slippery surface, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. I was expecting, like, a huge mess when I came out of the bathroom. I only saw one thing out of place, but for the amount of noise it made, I was like, what did you do? And stop it. Could we not? I have not seen the orange one since I've gotten up, though. I don't know where he is. He must be in my mom's room. I have not laid eyes on him. And he's usually in here. So I'm confused. Have you seen the orange one? Husband?
Not, like, in the last few minutes. Like, I saw him, like, this morning, maybe?
Did you?
Fuck.
The last time I remembered seeing him was when I had to get up to go to the bathroom around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I almost tripped over him because he was sitting on the area rug that my computer chair sits on. So I was grabbing my shoes. I have shoes. Just laying there in the dark next to my computer chair. I'm like, you've got to stop laying on this rug. This is not going to end well for either one of us one of these times. It's just not. One of us is not going to have a good time, which is going to cause the other one to not have a good time. Especially when I'm half asleep and unbalanced. Every stray fluff likes to cling to this particular color, or I'm just seeing it more since our background is black. It's probably really more the case than anything. Had a thin spot there, I just wanted to patch that up. It happens. It definitely happens. I mean, we could just kind of throw our hands up and be like, well, we're gonna shade this so the shader can probably fill it in, but then we are opening ourselves up to not remembering to come back and fill it in. Or it getting too big for a small little shaded spot to deal with and not look weird. So we're just gonna hit that up now. Okay. Alright, so we're over here. Working on this section now. So again, it's not as big as like up here or down here, but we do have another block of color that we are working in here. So it is going to be a little time consuming, not terribly so for this section, but I'm also not trying to rush through here that hard either. I do want to do something real quick though. Give me 1 second. If it loads. Let's see here. Of course, I'm in a weird mood, so nothing's hitting the spot. Just looking for something to listen to in the background real quick. You guys aren't going to be able to hear it. Okay. And I'm sorry you guys can't hear it. But my ass ain't getting in trouble for that. Sorry. Alright, so it's going to be looking a little bit askew, but that is fine. We can clean up that a bit when we get there. Okay. It looks so strange with the other roof sunk down here, but that's kind of what it looks like over here. And this is a little scrunched. We're going to be able to add a little bit of height to that, I think, just so we can overlap into the next color there. But I wanted to get our ground in before we start working on our house here. So we've got something for him to sit on. So, I mean, we can't have a floating keeper's house. Well, I mean, I guess we could, but if we want to try to follow along with Bob as close as we can, then it needs to have something to sit on. Oh. Alright. So turn this guy again. He's a little bumpy, but nothing like the other mat. And that's just because we just need to reposition and pull up a little bit more often. Okay. It is so windy today. And still feels like it's in the 90s, so that breeze has got to be pretty sticky. Peabut's getting into trouble again. I can hear him bouncing around on stuff. Or maybe it was Momo repositioning. So how did everybody's weekend go? If you're in the States, it might be a long weekend for you. Depends on your job. If you're working retail, most retailers are open and having sales. If you are in school and school's starting tomorrow, you might be in a panicked meltdown trying to make sure that you've gotten all of your school supplies, or you're trying to get your last minute summer reading list completed. Or frantically trying to watch the movie adaptations of said books so you can pretend that you read it and, oh, I didn't remember that. That's not always gonna save you, though. They change stuff in the movies sometimes. The movie adaptations are not always the same as the book. Sometimes they are vastly different. Hi, Momo. You okay, Momo?
Hi, buddy.
Oh, it's 2 o'clock, Daddy.
Yeah, I know.
Even though, well, no, it's been like an hour. Almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think you took him out around 12-ish. 12:30.
Just sick, buddy.
Momo doesn't visit me that much now. I don't know if it's the new curtain that he doesn't like. I just don't know. Get this worked into there. Oh, that pulled that a little bit more than I wanted to. That bowed that outer line out a little bit. Okay. So that's not too bad there, although I think I've been gripping that side a little too much. I need to find a different handhold. As you can see, we started to stretch that a little too far. Alright. So I want to get this next bit of ground popped into here. Okay. It's not a huge problem. Sorry, felt like something was touching me. It's like, yes. Can I help you? Alright, so. Get this. Worked into here. Now I am kind of like right on my line there. I can be a little over it since we're not trying to picture frame this one. Okay. I mean, we're kind of have a little bit of a weird shape forming there, but that's okay. We will get that guy all sorted up here. And I do want to overlap that piece there. And it really looked like it was going to storm a little bit ago. The sky was turning a little bit concerning. But that set of weather just kind of drifted up just to our east. And kind of went on its way. Okay. So we've got some like couple different lanes here that we kind of drew in. I don't know how much those are gonna factor in here. We can still try to follow it. I wasn't sure if we had pulled up on that. Okay. So I mean, this is all gonna get filled in here anyway. We're gonna like lose our different sections here. And I don't think he's done this section yet on there. But then he comes back and he starts fussing with the water, so he's kind of jumping here to here, here to here. So I might just put all of our brown in now, just to get it in. Kind of situation. Okay. We'll get into this guy. He had that weird spot where these two sections kind of got laid in there next to each other, so go ahead and we'll fill that in. So I'm trying to figure out if we're gonna do a double header tonight or today, or if I'm gonna try to squeeze in the extra Planet Zoo stream on Wednesday. I don't know yet. Part of me would kind of like to do it later tonight. We'll have to see. I can't do it tomorrow because the boys are going to be doing something. And I don't know what that something's going to be. I don't think they would be going all that late. Because of our friend's work schedule and school schedule. Okay, that looks pretty good in there. Give me 1 second, I have to do something. Really? That like doesn't exist? I guess not. Okay. Alright. So, let's get this guy. The shadow from my microphone. Being all looming and ominous. So I'd rather be a little bit over the line there and trim it down. Then, I mean, it's still going to be a little bit crooked when I cut it because it's me. And that's just how things seem to go. A lot of the time. Okay. So again, I try to overlap when I'm adding more bits of color into here. It helps with the weird seaming issues that can happen if you're just trying to shove in between. Oh, did you see my message?
No, what's up? Alright, hang on. Yeah.
I just want to make sure there's enough for later.
What you need bacon?
We're doing beef strips. She's gonna have rice, and I was gonna try to make that macaroni and cheese tonight.
Oh, okay, so I need to shred cheese. Okay.
Well, I figured you can do that in a little bit.
It's going to be an involved process. I'd rather do it ahead of time.
Alright. I just didn't know how loud the food processor was.
Oh. Well, I'll find out. Well,
Like, I think we have a grating blade on there, right?
huh?
I think we have a grating blade on there, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we will. I'll have to double check.
Oh, right. We'll get this bit worked into here, and then we're gonna put another bit right over this. Don't know if this is enough. No, we're gonna need the whole thing. So you can tell it's a little more unruly when I don't have the water. And I mean, I've got water right here. I can grab that if need be. And I did try to get some video editing done last night. I was pretty tired though. And then I was kind of hungry. I wanted a snacky. So we ran to Walmart and ended up doing our Walmart grocery shopping, which wasn't very much while we were there. And snacky turned out to be stuff for salads. I wanted a melon. They were trying to sell this small effing honeydew melon. All of them were small. That were like just a little bit bigger than maybe like a baby's skull and a half in diameter. For like $4.88 a pound. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I want you, but not that bad. I'll find something else. I was like, there's no way. At first when I was looking at it, I was like, $4.88, that's an awful lot for a honeydew. And I was like, no, that's okay. And Russell looked closer at the thing. He goes, no, That's 48 per pound. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? I was like, oh, hell no. I'm like, no. I don't have honeydew melon kind of money. If that's what we're talking. I'm like, is this thing like have 20s stuffed inside of it? 'Cause damn. I don't think that's gonna happen. Not right now. I guess I'm gonna have to make do with apples. Since we're coming into apple season. I don't know when honeydew season is. There weren't many of them. I'll tell you that much. I had a bunch of pallets of watermelon outside. But we've not had good luck buying watermelon. Even following all the guidelines for picking an awesome watermelon. Half the time we get it and it's overripe and starting to go bad inside. And I'm like, really? So I've kind of given up buying that uncut. Plus I feel really bad buying a whole watermelon because we don't have the guinea pigs anymore. So I don't have anyone to give the rinds to because we don't eat the rinds. I know some people like pickle the rinds or make soup out of it or something, but we don't. And I'm like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? And I feel like I'm wasting so much. Alright, let's see. I'm just kind of trying to fill in now, sort of following our sketch lines. Because, I mean, we're not necessarily going to have brush strokes, but we can kind of maybe get movement and direction implied with the way stuff is going in. Maybe it might be more of a factor when we're doing our shading, since this is just all one color and it's all kind of melting into itself, so. So we just have this little bit and then this section in here to fill in with this color. Well, summer's drawing to a close here. It's still going to be warm in summer-like temperatures where we are. Fall hasn't officially started. I don't know when first day of fall actually is. It's probably like towards the end of September. But how would you all rate your summer? How did your summer go? On the whole. Overall. Was it decent? Was it like the best summer ever? Did you do anything exciting? Was there stuff that you wanted to do and just didn't get the chance to? Did plans fall through for anything? Did new plans happen because other plans fell through that were just as awesome or better? Sliding out of my chair again. All right. So get this bit worked into here. And I'm okay with this coming over the black fluff. That's fine. Actually want that to happen. Mostly so we don't have any weird seaming issues here. And then if there is any thin spots on the brown section, the black will kind of chime in there a little bit. Missed a little section right in there that was just choosing to be a little bit fussy faced. Okay. overlapping this. Now, I still haven't figured out what color we're going to paint our dowel rods. We still have a couple of sessions before I have to worry about that. I'm probably going to prime them, though. I might paint them ahead of time. This time, you okay?
Yeah, did the pots, but I'll wait until you need the shred.
Oh, I thought you wanted to do...
I don't think it'll take that long. I had to look at it, and it won't take that much.
I was gonna say, it's not that big of a block. Just, I think we got rid of the box grater. I haven't seen it. I think it got funky on the inside, or we were having trouble cleaning the inside of it. Okay. I started a little bit early and I'm like, oh, what time is it? Oh, I didn't put my hair up. That's what's bothering me. Do I have a clip over here? Really? I thought I had a clip over here. Well, that's annoying. Oh, there's one. It's not a good one. Like, it's a little small for the amount of hair it has to clip. I need to be able to bend my fingers. And I can't bend them with that. Alright, let's see if this... Okay, it's just a shadow. Let's see if this clip holds. I don't know if it's gonna. We'll see. Like, why is my neck hot? And it just hit me that I hadn't put my hair up yet. I did not want to get up today. I was like, I just want to sleep. And P-Butt just had to wake me up early, and not gently either. So I have no idea how long that thing had been touching the side of my computer, but it was making the entire... What did you do?
You just knocked over a box. It's okay.
Okay. It sounded like a lot of stuff fell. So. He is such a dork. He gets himself in these impossible situations. He somehow knocked over one of our bookcases one time. And we didn't realize it, or like a stack of books or something, because he was being a dork. And we were hearing him meow, but we didn't know where the fuck he was. And we're like, meow? And he's like, meow, meow. And we couldn't find him for about 10-15 minutes, and then we finally found him under a pile of books that he knocked over head first into the pile of books. And I guess he couldn't squeeze himself out of it. I'm like, you gotta stop. I said, what if we weren't home? Then what? He's like, meow. Okay, traffic's a little bit lighter today. It is a half-assed holiday, but I think some people still had to work. Although you think this would be a full-on holiday, but we can't have that. No, no. It's bad enough they give Christmas off. And I'm sure if there were stores open on Christmas Day, they would have long lines. Hello. Welcome, Godlike. Oh, thank you. So this is needle felting. We're painting with fluff, basically, fiber. It's a combination of acrylic yarn and wool roving. And we're trying to follow along with a Bob Ross tutorial. It's down in the corner. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you for popping in here. Appreciate it. As we are working our way through, we've done the first 7 tutorials of this season 3 of The Joy of Painting. And we are currently working on episode 8. And we're just using a piece of craft felt as our base, as our canvas, if you will. And we're working on getting our ground put in here for our keeper's house to sit on, our cliffs. Hope you are well. Hope your day's going well. I'm gonna have to start doing Christmas projects soon. I don't know if we're gonna stream those. We could. I need to make some Christmas ornaments. But I think what I'm doing this year shouldn't be too bad, time-wise. We're not doing a big holiday project like we did last year, because that gingerbread house that we put together took on such a life of its own. What happened to that? Did we pack that up in the Christmas decorations? What happened to the gingerbread house?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. It might have gotten packed up in the Christmas stuff.
I think we packed it.
Because that project took on a whole life of its own. There's photos of that on the Instagram. we're almost done putting in our base of our cliffs here. Probably time to turn the mat here. Let's work in a different spot. Alright, I'm probably gonna have to put another piece like on that because there's a little bit of a funky seam there. Well, those two colors met, or two sections met, same color. Alright. I'm pretty happy with how the lighthouse parts come out so far. Definitely given that quite a pop with the other colors behind it. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of lay this guy over where those two sections were meeting because I didn't overlap the one enough. I had that weird little kind of divot where the two sections were lining up against each other. Or at least it was giving that impression. And I don't know if shading would have fixed that. Possible. But I have this color out right now, so I'd rather just fill it all in while we're here. And we'll figure it out later. Sorry if my voice drops down a little bit. I tend to talk quiet. I'm not good at projecting a lot of the time. I'm trying. But my voice always sounds louder to me than it actually is. So it's something I've been trying to work on. Alright, so we have to figure out what color we're doing our buildings in. I've got our little quick colored pencil sketch that we did beforehand up in the corner. I think I did the buildings as white because I didn't have a zoomed in look at them. This looks dark gray. He kind of did like shades of like, he made a gray with like white and blue and I think black. So I don't know, we might like take the darkest gray that I have and run with that maybe. Alright, so make sure you have your finger protectors on. That's what this is. So I don't accidentally stab myself. I've tagged myself before, like surface tagged, and that hurts and that bleeds. Because this is a very sharp needle. And it's got the little Barbie notches. Not like Barbie Dream Girl, but like Barb. As in little notchy doos cut into the side of the needle to grab the fiber. To shove it down through the layers of the other fiber. To kind of force weave everything together. So if this goes into your finger, It's probably gonna be a trip to the emergency room to get it out. Because you're gonna have to pull it out. You can't push it through because this gets thicker. And there's like a little L handle on the end of the needle, which keeps it in the holder and doubles as a holder if you don't have a handle to slide it into. And I'll tell you, just the couple times that I've accidentally tagged the surface of my skin, ooh, I'm like, I don't need it. I'm just gonna touch this one section up here. It'll be fine. It wasn't fine. It's always when I don't have them on. I haven't had to go to the emergency room for it, but I surface tagged it. Like, the needle didn't go full into my finger, so that's not something I want to experience, and I don't want any of you to experience it. So, if you're gonna try this, make sure you get the finger protectors, especially if you don't have the best aim. I kind of really like to have more on my other fingers, but the kit only came with 2 for these 2. A whole glove of it would be great. Okay. So this is what the back looks like. Okay. I know the mat has a little tag on it that says Wool Buddy. This is not sponsored. I'm probably gonna have to put a piece of tape over it just so it doesn't look like product placement. But like I've said, if they want to talk, I'm fine with that. Let's talk. But this is not sponsored. Oh, that really didn't. It didn't do anything. There we go. I had blue painter's tape, but I don't have that much of it left. I'm almost out of that. Okay. So we will get this going here. So do you guys do any crafts? Any arty things? What's your medium of choice? Even though it's a pain in the ass, I kind of like doing the, making, like, flower arrangements with the fake flowers. I do kind of like it. It just gets so expensive. I'd kind of like to see if I can find cheaper prices somewhere online, but then you're buying it without physically seeing it. Like, you can see a picture of it on a screen, but you're not able to, like, really get a good look at it and get a feel for the texture of it. I feel like this piece was cut a little short because our other pieces, so this is supposed to be a 9x12 piece of felt, the gray, we've been taking an 8x10 backing from, well, the backing from an 8x10 picture frame and tracing out our square. So I was originally trying to get these things into 8x10 picture frames, but I've come to realize over time that sometimes when you're done, your finished product is not 8x10. It's a little bit under, which can be rectified with a mat, but then you kind of need to go with a better frame and possibly take the glass out, because it's a little bit thick when it's done. It's not as thin as a photo. So you might have to go glassless so you don't risk breaking the glass, or you have to go with like a deep frame. But I was realizing that it was just so hard to keep the 8x10 size by the time we got done, because sometimes the sides get a little wobbly and scissors only clean up so much of that, and then you're shrinking it in as you're cleaning that up. So we've moved on to a different method of displaying it with dowel rods at the top and bottom. I've got some half dowel rods, so they're flat on one side. And I've been painting them in accent colors from the piece that we've used, just, you know, to try to tie it all together. Don't know what color we're gonna do on this one yet. I think white would be weird, even though we have white on the moon and white on the foam and the waves. That might not fit. I don't know if black's gonna be too much black. And a dark earthy brown might not do it. But I think the sides on this might be a little short, because we usually have a little bit more of a edge here, like on one of the pieces, unless that one was cut too wide. It felt like I had to trim a little bit extra off the top and bottom. So the top and bottom stay, and then when we're done, we're gonna cut off these two sides. That's why I've got notes written over here for what lines were what when we were getting started. So like this side will get cut off, this side will get cut off, and the dowels will get attached to top and bottom. There should be at least one photo of a finished piece, if not two, on the Instagram for how we're gonna do it. Or the Kofi. The Kofi might have some photos that Instagram doesn't. Sometimes I'll be in the middle of posting places and I'll either forget to put it on the other thing, or something happened and I had to go take care of something real quick, and by the time I come back I've completely forgotten what I was in the middle of doing. And then, you know, months later, when I'm going through and trying to clean up stuff, I'm like, hey, why isn't this photo here? What happened? It should have been. Alright, so if you do have a wool allergy, you can do this with acrylic yarn. It is possible. The acrylic yarn takes a little bit more prep, so it's a little more time consuming to get started, but it is an option. So right now the only thing that's the wool roving on here is just the shading at the moment on the lighthouse. We're going to add some more shading, I think, with the roving down and through here in our cliffs, because I kind of need to use up that roving, and it's a small enough amount that we're going to need that we should have enough, because the sample set of colors of roving that I got were, I mean, it was a good number of colors, but the amounts they gave you were very small. It wasn't enough to do a whole big piece like this. So our finished goal size is approximately 8x10, because I know it's hard to, sorry, we live on a busy road, so there's going to be traffic noise, so sometimes it's hard to gauge the scale of something when cameras are zoomed in and stuff. But, so like, nope, those are all my squished pennies. I don't really have anything good for size comparison right now within reach. I mean, I've got a water bottle. I mean, the scissors I have are like small, they're not like standard size scissors. I mean, like, that's my hand, so. All of my change got put in the piggy bank when we cleaned, so I don't have that sitting here anymore. I have some pressed pennies, but I don't know if that would really be a good size comparison. So hope everybody's having a good day. And that your weekend is finishing out good, that your week is going to start out well. Alright, we're almost done putting in this cliff here. Getting there. I know it's boring watching one color be put in, but you gotta do the thing to get to the other things, right? You gotta do the boring stuff to get to the fun stuff, right? And I don't think Bob's put this section of ground in yet, like I said earlier. But we're gonna go ahead and pop that in. Now, the link to the the link to the tutorial that we have down in the corner from Bob, it's from his YouTube channel. You're more than welcome to follow that link over there to go see the original tutorial in full. I have ours muted and captions turned on down there. I don't know how well it's visible. My preview is really tiny. But we spend most of the time with that in pause. We do have sections where we watch the tutorial, but I can't needle felt as fast as Bob can paint. I don't know if anybody can, especially not in this size. Paint is a much faster medium. That I can guarantee. We could usually pop out a Bob Ross follow along with paint in about 4 hours. It's about my average. Doesn't seem to matter what medium I'm using. That's about the average time it takes me. So if I'm doing oil, or if I'm doing gouache or acrylic, that's about my average for following along with him. 4 to 5 if we're doing a small one. Rough weekend for the music industry. We lost Jimmy Buffett, and this morning I woke up to news that the lead singer for Smash Mouth passed away. If I knew I wasn't gonna get in trouble, we would do some Jimmy Buffett music in tribute, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna risk that because I'm pretty sure my ass would get nailed almost immediately. And my attempts to learn guitar didn't go well, so I can't play covers of it. So, sorry, I had a thin little spot up in here. I just want to fill that in while I see it. While I have the colors out. Alright, that's better. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a bit more of this. I'm just trying to even out our fluff here a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna overlap that. Just so it has a little bit more of a seamless join here, joining in with everybody else. So I know this side's a little, well, this side's a little wobbly too, so. I'm not sure if a guillotine would cut through all this. It might only really work on paper. But I have considered getting one to get more of a straighter cut on the edges. I just don't know if it would cut through all this. At the very least, I probably need a good pair of bigger scissors, because all I have really right now are the tiny little ones, or a pair of medical scissors with the rounded nub on the one end that we found. We had 2 pairs of larger scissors that have gone missing in this house, and we don't know where they are. I think the husband took them in the other room, and they got lost in the other room.
What?
I think that white handle and orange handle pair of scissors might be in the other room.
Orange pair, I think, are in the other room. I don't know about the other one.
Yeah, we lost the white ones. I don't know where they are. I didn't come across them when we were cleaning. Which surprised me, unless they're still buried on your desk somewhere. Although, that looks a little bit more in order, so I think you tidied that up a bit more than it was. Like, there's only so many other places these scissors can be, and they've vanished. Oh, what the fuck? Ah, fuzz. I somehow got fuzz on the edge of my drink. I would like not to eat my acrylic yarn, please. Thank you. I don't think that would go very well. Let's not do that. Alright, can we see in this bottom corner in view here? So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna do that extra Planet Zoo stream tonight or Wednesday. It kind of depends on how tired I am tonight. We'll have to see. I'd like to do it tonight. Just so that way I can spend Tuesday and Wednesday getting some other work done that I need to get done. I've got a painting I'm in the middle of. And I've got 2 needle felting projects I'm in the middle of. And I have a video edit I'm in the middle of, so quite halfway done the video editing project. That's probably gonna take me another... Oh, I don't want to put a time frame on it. Probably like 2 to 3 weeks. So probably just as I finish this one. Not sure if we have 2 to 3 weeks left on this one though. We might be done this one before that one. So we're gonna have to put another little section in here. This section was a little bit thicker, so it's going to take a little bit more stabbing just to make sure that we're good and anchored here. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna smooth out our back here. Our back's not looking too bad. You can kind of see what's going on a little bit there. The front looks much better. For sure. We'll just use this whole piece here. Small enough where we should be able to just do the whole thing here. Alright, so we're gonna start tapping it. Oop, see, that's why we have the finger protectors on. I did hit the top edge of that. My needle went ping, and it bent a little, or tried to bend. It kind of wobbled. I got the pressure off of it fast enough. Now that's not this, these aren't entirely foolproof though. I have had this needle go through it in specific places. So you don't want the seam to be near where you're going because it is possible to go through the seam. I did have that happen. It still slowed it down enough where it ended up just being a like a surface prick where I just had like a tiny drop of blood on my finger, but it still hurt. So I still recommend you using them. But it is still possible with enough determination to get through them. So do keep that in mind, especially if you're working on a critter, if you're making the little animal guys, because that's when I was having the most difficulty with missing what I was trying to hit or going through what I was hitting, was when we were working on Reggie. There should be a photo on Reggie somewhere. It's either on the Kofi or the Insta. I can't remember where he is. He might be on both. So Sir Reginald Forktongue III, I believe is what his name was. was the D&D D&D Lizard Man character concept that we needle felted for the husband for Christmas last year. He never got the chance to play Reggie, because I think the game Reggie was supposed to be in fell through. Or maybe he played him briefly.
No.
No?
Nope.
I thought you were playing a lizard folk in something.
Nope.
But it was like only one session. Alright, that was just a slight little thin spot in there. Did we take care of it? It might not be a thin spot. It might just be the way the light's shining off of it. Okay. So, we've got our ground in place there for our cliffs. Now, if I can get this closed so I won't lose any of it. Let's see. Oh, let me push that in. Hello? What are you doing? Oh, I've caught on that. I've got too much shit. Alright, so let's see. We need... Excuse me, we need some cliff shading. That's too dark. No. This is the shading we used on the lighthouse. If I could get this a little bit more red, I think that would probably work. So, like, these are the little roving amounts they gave me. Not very much to do a whole lot with. Like, some of the colors, it feels like were duplicated, but not really. That's too close. I really not have any... No, that's more red than anything. I mean... It doesn't feel right. If they didn't give that many... Like, we've got this. This is like a peachy camel, but that's really bright. And his highlights were more like reddish brown, and I thought I had... something similar to what I'm looking for, but I'm not seeing it. I wonder if we used it all. We might have. In which case, that's a bummer. These colors aren't gonna work. Let me tuck them back away. Browns are such a hard color to shade right, because it's not really like, it's not a color I normally gravitate to. I mean, it needs to be redder. And I only have 2 shades of red. I have this shade and one that's a little bit brighter, and he used like a reddish brown sienna kind of color in there. That's way too bright. Oh, I've got to go and get like some Southwest colors. I need to get more earth tones. Because that's not something I have a whole lot of. I mean, I guess we can use this. I guess. Not really the color I want to use. And we don't have that. Oh, careful. Don't break in those, please. Let me just double check my other colors real quick. They're on the other wall here. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Hi, kitty. That's too red. That's pretty much the same color that we've got down. This is kind of gray, but I'm gonna leave that. Green. It's kind of like camel. I don't know. I don't think this is really gonna do it. That feels too bright. Because it is nighttime. So I'm not sold on this. I'm not. I think it's gonna have to be this one. The gray we need for the building. So I had to get up and get it anyway. So. Is this just so bright? If this was just. If I had like a medium brown or even. I don't know. Alright, so let's see here. Got some. Let's see. It's not right at the very top. But we'll start to kind of tap this in here. Now, traditionally most people use roving or wool for this. I just don't. I don't have a wool allergy that I'm aware of. I think I would have noticed it by now. If that was the case. But for me, for the amount that I need in the roving, or would need in the roving, and in the amount of colors I would need, financially, it would be very expensive for me. So it's a lot. I mean, acrylic yarn's not super cheap either, but for the amount that I get, it fits my budget constraints a lot better. It's just I'm gonna have to branch out into some different brands to find some more earthy tones, I think. Because, you know, it's very, like, it's colors that people would wear, you know? And not everybody wants to wear Southwest looking colors. So I might have to look at some other brands that are either on sale or more in my budget. So I've been wanting to do some like Southwest stuff, but that's like your more burnt oranges and rusts and your medium browns, and like we've got plenty of the lighter tans. We've got camel and soft fudge, depending on the brand that you're looking at. And I've got like a bright orange, but I want to get some more of just like different earth tones, different dirt colors. And I would also like to get some more like cactusy colors, succulent colors. Those have been hard to come by. I've seen them in the one brand at least, but they've been out of stock for like ever. So that's been a little bit annoying. Like, I can't buy what I can't get my hands on. And that was within my budget when I was looking at that. So we've ordered Paintbox Simply Chunky when that's been on sale. They've had some decent prices for that. I mean, the balls, the skeins aren't huge. But it'll do. I don't think we've had yet to run out of a color. The only one I got a little bit nervous about was running out of white, but I got some more of that. It's a different brand, but I've got some more of it. Like, dye lot was going to be an issue anyway, so it didn't really matter at that point if it was the same brand, because it's like, oh, I'm fucked anyhow, so it can be a different brand. And I know it sounds silly to worry about dye lot on white. It's not silly. I've seen some people, because I used to work for a craft chain. They've gone out of business since, but when I did work for them, there would be people that would buy white, and they're like, oh, I don't have enough. And they would come in with one of the skeins that they had, and they're like, I'm trying to match the dye lot, and it would look like a completely different shade of white than what we had on the counter. And I'm like, oh, I don't think you're going to be able to do that. When did you buy that? And they're like, 2 months ago. I'm like, that dye lot's probably long gone. I don't think there's anything that we can do about that. I mean, if we don't have it in the rack down here, it's not going to be up above, because that's sold out and been refilled since you purchased. I know, because I had to help. We're constantly pulling from up there. I won't get on the big tall ladders because they scare me, but I'll stand on the ground and catch them. Or we would get a shopping cart, and whoever was on the big tall ladder would have to try to throw it in the shopping cart, and somebody would have to stand there to make sure that it didn't miss and hit somebody. Or we would get one of the maintenance guys that was fine with climbing the big tall ladders, or one of the managers, and we're like, yeah, I need some help. I'm not climbing up to the ceiling to pull that shit down. So, just saying. Now, I worked in kids crafts, but my section was right next to the yarn and the needle crafts. That's what I'm looking for. It's like, I know there's a word for this. The fuck is it? Needlework. Needle crafts. What time is it? I hate being so time constrained now. Sort of my own fault, but I've always had trouble sleeping, like always. Even when I was in grade school, I felt like I'd be awake half the night trying to sleep. And then I worked at the casino overnights for several years. What, like 6 years doing overnight? And I think I did another 2 or 3 years of overnights at Walmart. And it's just, for me, I managed to pop out of being awake all night for a little while. We had gone on vacation, so I had to be up during the day because we were driving and stuff, and we were doing stuff during the day when we got to where we were going, and yeah, fun. And I would be so exhausted by the time we came back to the hotel. I would just like pass the fuck out. And when we got home, I think I managed to maintain being awake during the day for like a month, maybe 2, and I was like, yeah, you know, this is fine. But it was a problem because I was still at Walmart, I think, at the time. Oh no, this was after I left Walmart. And then I think the husband had a bad couple of anxiety nights, and I didn't want him to be up alone. So then I was trying to stay up with him, and then bam, I'm right back into being up all night. It didn't take much to nudge me back, and I'm like, okay. Which is a problem for me if we end up trying to do farmer's market next spring, because I'm gonna have to be there, and that is very much in the morning. I think it's officially open from like 7 or 8 a.m. to noon. I think it's 8 a.m. to noon. But some people get there at like 6:37 to set up. And I'm like, damn. I'm usually like just falling asleep around then. If it's a bad night for me. Particularly bad night for me. So I'm gonna have to really work on that over the winter. Or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Husband's gonna try to help me, but I still have to be there. So it's gonna be an interesting spring. So this winter I'm gonna have to try to not be up quite so late. I mean, I can still get stuff done in the morning if I'm awake enough. So I'm gonna have to figure out new things, which is going to be difficult, I think, for me. Probably shouldn't be highlighting this far down, because I don't know how he's got this piece set up. Actually, I had that like dark wine color that you could hardly see, and I kind of want to go and grab, come back here and grab that again. I think maybe if I put it in here, perhaps with this color, and I use that other color to tone this one down a little bit, I think that might put us in a slightly better place. Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is just so bright down here. And I don't necessarily want it to look this bright down in here. So I think I need to go back digging through that Roving again. Hang on, I'm just looking at my bags Roving. Those are all purples and pink. I had separated out some of these guys into color families to help me try to use them a bit more. Oh my god, these zip locks on the floss bags, rather tricky at times. Oh, these embroidery hoops keep getting stuck in the drawer. Was it this one? No, I had a specific one that I was looking at. It wasn't this one. I don't think it was that one. I feel like it was a different one. It might have been in the other bag. Let's see. Might have been that one. Yeah, it was a little bright. Oh. Alright, so. Have I used this color before? It's kind of rolled like I have. But I'm not sure. Alright. Doesn't really matter all that much. Okay. So I am gonna grab our water here. So I just have a little bit of water in a water bottle cap. And I'm just kind of using that just to roll this a little bit. Just to... You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to try to get that a little bit more cooperative. So I'm just gonna kind of lay that in over top. just to try to darken that a little bit. Now, these two colors are very close. It's actually showing up a lot better on camera. Than it is in person here. Like, I don't want to completely cover it, but it's so bright. So maybe if we can just dull it down just a little, that would help. Wow. That looks completely different on camera than it does in front of me. That is wild. So let's see if we can change this a little bit. I was like, I don't want to rip all of that out. I want it there to a degree. Just not quite completely to the degree that we've got it in there. I wasn't fully feeling this color when we first put it in. Which also didn't really help with that. Let's see about getting this kind of cleaned up here. It's crazy. I mean, we're gonna have some foliage in here too. Kind of tumbling down the cliff here in spots. So that might also help to tone it down just a little. That's crazy because that looks so much darker in front of me. Absolutely wild. Ow. So sometimes with the roving, you get like these little weird wiry looking bits in there. I don't know if that's like plant matter from whatever the shepherds were rolling around in, or if it was just bits that didn't get dyed. I don't know. looks almost purplish brown to me. Actually contemplating taking a little bit of that gray and mixing that in. I won't have time to try that today, so it's just something I'm gonna think about. I'm gonna think on it for the week and see how I'm feeling about it. Come next week. Okay. So it's like this looks so bright. Why? I mean, we could have just left it with the brown on there, but the brown just didn't look right. Or the reddish brown. That's our darkest gray. Still pretty bright. That being like the darkest gray. Maybe not. That's the color I was looking for. Son of a bitch. I knew it was there, and then I'm like, no, maybe I'm crazy, because now I'm not seeing it. Still might need that color. Hello? Where's your end? Where did they tuck you? They tucked you somewhere. There you are. You have to destroy the freaking lump just to try to find it. So his is more red, but I don't know. That looks it's more purple. And I don't think mixing red into that is gonna help. I mean, I've got some blue, but that might be a little much. Well, let's see. Right? See how this goes. I mean, that does look very purple, but we're also sitting on top here. So let's work this color in. I don't think I put this in. No, we just had greens all over it. Okay. Trim that. And let's stab those loose ends down into place. Okay, see, now that we've got that stabbed in, you can't even see it on the camera now. That's crazy. I think we've got a little bit of that on the tail end there. Peeking through. That's kind of crazy. I mean, when we put more of it in, you can see it a little bit more. Yeah, I think even though it's hard to see on the camera, you can see it in person. And that might pop a bit more when we get our greens in here. So I think this is the color. That we're gonna go with in here. Alright, how far down are we taking this guy? Probably about there. I mean, it's kind of there. But I think even though it's like way dark, I don't quite have like a brownish red that's gonna work here, so this is probably like the closest we're gonna get is like this reddish wine color. Because he's got it kind of highlighted, but it's kind of more like, I guess it's kind of highlighted. And everything else is kind of like a deep dark shadow. I think it's hilarious that school started in the middle of August and then they've been closed. I don't know if they closed early on Friday, but you know, no school Saturday, no school Sunday, and then there's no school Monday for Labor Day, and they're off Tuesday too. And I'm like, why didn't you just wait until effing after the fair? You okay?
Yeah, just Ed being Ed.
Oh, that's the noise. Oh, so he did materialize. The orange one has been found. Oh, that's right. I did see him this morning when I got up. Because there was almost a cat fight involving my legs. He tried to hop up on the ottoman where the water bowl, where one of the water bowls was sitting, and Little was sitting right next to it, and she can't stand Ed. I think they both want to be alpha cat in charge, and something about him, like, she gives all the other boys a run for their money, but she hates him. Like, she growls the second he looks in her direction. Kind of see it, although that later spot that we didn't fill in is definitely noticeable. Okay, so sorry for the abrupt color change, but the more of that other color I was putting in, it just I wasn't feeling it. Okay, I don't have a lot of this one left. I mean, we've got all that, but in my hand I didn't have. Okay. So there's gonna be, okay, so because we didn't have that other brown laid in over top of this one to tone down the orange, that is shining through a bit more. That's interesting. Interesting good, interesting bad, I'm not certain yet, but it's interesting to say the least. So we're gonna grab a little bit more of this. And just kind of lay that in a little bit more, at least where it's a bit brighter. I was gonna snip that and just lay another piece down. But perhaps just do it that way. We do have a little bit of that orange kind of popping up in there, but that might be okay. It's kind of giving it a little bit of shading there. I think that'll be alright. What's that? What is that? Oh, that's that. Oh, no. That's a little obnoxiously bright. If the camera's picking it up that much. So we'll just kind of tap that in over that. I had a feeling that was going to be a little difficult. Okay. Alright, so this next bit in here. We'll get worked in here. And I'm hoping this doesn't turn too purpley when we get our foliage put in. I think I went a completely different route with the ground in the sketch. Potentially. Okay. So let's get that. Wait, okay, yeah, that's a little bit better. I'd cut that other piece a little short. Alright. So then this guy. Will get tucked into here. You know what else I want to do? Probably not. Because you're not in my brain. Half the time, I don't know what I want to do. Let's see. So, just want to see, since we're kind of experimenting with our cliffs here. Just a teeny tiny bit. Because it does look a little black in spots on there, right? I'm just curious to see how that's gonna lay in there. Might look terrible. But it kinda, the shade of red he used kinda made the brown look black. For all I know, he might have mixed Van Dyke brown and black together, and I just missed it. Not that that was really gonna help me at all. Okay, that kinda does a little something there. Kinda. Kinda, maybe. Actually, yeah. Yeah, I think we'll keep running with that idea. But I think we're gonna have to stop there for today. Sorry we didn't get as far as I wanted to. I was hoping we were gonna start the house today, but we didn't. Because the cliffs took a interesting turn on me, but that's alright. That happens. But I think this dark wine color and the black is definitely going to be the better way to go. So we're going to cover up all that as we go. And then, you know, we still have our shrubbery to kind of work its way in there too. So we definitely have things to do next week. So next Sunday we'll be back working on this. And at that point we will pick up, adding a little bit more black into here and adding more of our wine color on top of all of this. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So I hope everybody has a good rest of their week. I might be back later tonight. If not tonight, then Wednesday for a bonus stream for Planet Zoo. Just make sure you've got your notifications turned on or you're following on Twitter. Both places I'll post in when I let you guys know that if we're doing a bonus stream, that's where you'll find out. But no promises on tonight. So, if for some reason I don't end up doing the bonus stream at all this week, the next scheduled stream will be on Thursday for Coral Island. We are still anxiously awaiting the diving update. At least I know I am. That is going to be all sorts of fun coming in. So I hope everybody has a good week. Don't forget to follow all the socially do's down below. There are links to the Twitter, the Kofi, the Instagram, and the YouTube page. So, until next time, friends, have a good one.